SPE Nigerian Council. So this program, we're having this program today. I guess we have our speaker here on the call. Speaker, you are welcome. Dr. Ogenerume. I can see, okay, the student president, Northern University. Victory, you are welcome. I can see Emakpo Ese president, student chapter, Abraka. You are welcome to this program today. So we shall be going straight to the, okay, we are having the order of the program for today. Okay, welcome and introduction safety moment by Emakpo Ese. Then our FA Funai will be taking the welcome address and the introduction of speaker by Victory. Our speaker is here on the call, Dr. Ogenerume Ogolo. You are welcome once again. So I think SA Ogene, if you're on the call, just can you signify so I can know you're on the call so you can take the safety brief for today. SA Ogene.
Hello? Hello, good evening.
Emakpo, good
Yes,
evening.
sir.
I can hear you. If you can hear SA Ogene, just say hi. SA Ogene, we can hear you. You can go on with the safety brief.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So I'm going to take the safety
Good
brief.
evening.
So these are some safety precautions for this Zoom meeting. Please mute your mic while the program is going on. Please raise your hand in case of any question, in case you want to speak. Then use the chat button, C for comments, Q for question. Ensure you see the fire alarm around your surrounding. Please be aware of your environment. And please maintain a good sitting position. Thank you, guys. Hello, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, SA Ogene. That is a nice one.
Thank you, sir.
Also, we shall be going straight to the next program of the day. That is a welcome address by Professor Amobi Ekwe, faculty advisor, Federal University, alias Ekweme Federal University Student Chapter. Sir, if you're on the call,
good evening.
The floor is yours, sir. Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening,
Can hear you.
everyone. Good evening. Can
Good
you
evening,
hear
sir.
me? Okay. Yeah. I welcome everyone to today's technical presentation. In fact, this technical presentation is very apt and is coming at a time when there is need to acquire this critical skill, because it is a skill. Writing academic papers is a skill, and you can only learn these skills if you have the sufficient desire to go and embark on all it takes to understand the rudiments and the rubrics of writing. Because if after carrying out your groundbreaking research without the skill of communicating those ideas through technical writing, you find out that the world may not really know what those results that you found out or you discovered in your research, how far it can go to change the society. So I commend the organizers of this event for coming up with this topic at this time. And also our target audience, the students, is also very apt that this particular wonderful expose is targeting our students. And I have no doubt in the ability of the presenter, Dr. Ogolo, to do justice to this wonderful topic. Just like the bolts and nuts in engineering concept, you know, what the bolts and nuts, what they do to the parts of a machine and other moving parts. Without the bolts and nuts, you find out that the centers may not hold. And when things fall apart as a result of improper or incompetent bolts and nuts, it causes very great damage to the entire system. So I urge us to relax, because I know that our speaker is well loaded. Let us all relax and listen to him. At the end of the day, I have no doubt in my mind that our audience will acquire this skill in order to effectively communicate their research findings through technical paper writing. Thank you very much, the student chair, Chima, who has been all over the place, tying all the bolts and nuts to make sure that today's events hold. I urge us, let us relax as we expect a powerful, high-powered, and rewarding presentation from Dr. Ogolo. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful one. Victory, if you're on the call, I would like you to introduce our speaker for today. Victory, can you hear me?
Thank you very much, Precious. Confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Confirm you can hear me.
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Facilitator for today, Dr. Ogenerume Okolo. Dr. Ogenerume has over 8 years of academic and industry experience. He works with the Petroleum Training Institute, EFRU. He possesses apt and top-notch research skills and has made excellent research backgrounds. He has a patent in drilling engineering and theory copyright in petroleum economics. He developed a novel method to improve the rheological of low swelling bentonite clay. He also developed a novel method to improve the biological properties of low swelling bentonite clay. He also developed the modified unit technical cost, MUTC, estimate the cost of producing a barrel of oil. He recently developed the modified straight line method with petroleum investment. He reviews international petroleum research journal. His expertise cut across energy economics, drilling, and reservoir engineering. He has consulted for companies such as Innovation Engineering Limited, Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, Tenno Energy Resources Limited, and the Ministry of Petroleum Resources in Nigeria. He has taught about 9 short courses to petroleum industry professionals. He is very passionate about SPE activities. He received the 2020 SPE Nigerian Council prestigious Chairman's Medallion Award for his distinguished service to SPE, and the 2021 SPE Abuja Section Young Member Service Award. He won the SPE Nigerian Council Student Paper Contest MS Master of Science category in 2018. He is currently the Student Program Chair for SPE Nigerian Council. He holds a Bachelor in Engineering in Petroleum Engineering from the University of Ibadan. from the University of Benin, and AMC and PhD in Petroleum Engineering from the African University of Science and Technology. Dr. Ogenerume, the floor is yours.
Very good evening to everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Loud and clear, sir.
Loud and clear, sir. Okay.
Yes, we can
So
hear you.
everyone's voice is kind of blocked.
We can hear you,
my
sir.
side.
We can hear you, sir.
I'm trying to set up. Yeah, I was ready, but only to find out that my Zoom, my system, I had to update it. So now I'm currently using my phone for the presentation. So that's fine. So see what and what you can always do. So just give me just few 1 or 2 minutes. Let me share my slide on the using the phone and the live. So well, once again, I thank the Warri section board. Please give me permission to share my screen. I thank the Warri section board for the opportunity to take this lecture. For the opportunity to take this lecture, and I'm also thank the SAC of Warri section for the work he has been doing for our students. I think it has been massive, and I always tell him that he's not sleeping, that he should try to be sleeping. So I think Warri session is blessed to have the person of Chima Okoye as the SAC of the section. So I thank the section once again for the opportunity. So what I will be talking on today is very, very important and apt, just as the prof has highlighted. What is the bolts and nuts of writing award winning papers? Something that you do, because sometimes there is this idea that, okay, you know, you do a work and you from the student perspective, you feel that, oh, you've done enough, right? But lo and behold, you just submit your paper for, for paper contest, and only for you to see that, you are not qualified, or, you couldn't meet up some certain, couldn't meet up, or you are disqualified from the contest. Why were you disqualified from the contest? So these are the things that I'm going to be speaking on today, to the best of my knowledge and experience. But confirm if you can see my screen. I know it's maybe quite small, as I'm using my phone to do this. But confirm if you can see my screen, please.
Yes, sir. I can see your screen.
Okay, so please, you will bear with me about it. I don't think the PowerPoint I'm using on my phone is not that compatible. That's why it's a bit sketchy, but just pay attention to what I will be saying, because I'm going to be speaking from being the paper contest coordinator for years. Then I've also won student paper contest as well too. So I just wanted to pay attention. I will share my experience with you guys, so you also know, how to conquer some of these contests. So this is just a brief profile of myself. Like has been said, I was a winner of the SPE Nigeria Council Student Paper Contest in 2018. I have a patent, I have 4 copyrights, and my thinking is just that I'm happy this program is going on, because I've been thinking of recent about our dear country and even our dear industry, because we tend to make progress when it comes to entertainment. But progress in terms of research, in terms of the research aspects, it's a bit sketchy, right? So I'm just thinking a situation where students and young people can become creative, not creative doing TikTok videos or Instagram videos, but creative, actually trying to build something, trying to solve a problem using the knowledge you gain in your sciences, right, or engineering. So those are my thoughts these days. That's why I'm happy that we are taking this lecture. So this is some of my major breakthrough. In 2020, I had this breakthrough. research breakthrough, and I published this paper. I know I may not talk much about it because it's a bit technical. Then this was a patent, one of my patents. When I got it, the notary had to write to me to come and grace the to grace the ceremony where the certificates will be issued out. Then these are just the outline for the presentation. So as a way of introduction, I could say that research remains the bedrock of the development of any nation. And the basic foundation of research, it still remains the fundamental knowledge. And what is this fundamental knowledge? It's your basic science, physics, chemistry, and mathematics. What we do at research level, we try to use those knowledge, right? We apply it to solve, societal problems in the oil and gas industry. So basis of research remains your fundamental knowledge. That's why the first thing you will need to know is that when you are doing a research, you need to first of all understand the topic. So do you understand the topic you are doing? You need to go back and look at the fundamentals of that topic, so that first you can understand what you are working on first. Because there are scenarios where a student will come out and working on this and that, and you ask them, for example, now you're working on reservoir modeling of a numerical modeling of a reservoir in the Niger Delta, and you ask the student, what is a reservoir? The student does not even know what a reservoir is, right? So that means that the person does not even understand what he or she is doing. So you need to have fundamental knowledge of your title. Research has been the solid foundation of the oil and gas industry. See the industry today, which I'll show in the next slide. You'll see that it's evolving. It's evolving. The way we work in the 1960s, 1980s, it's not the same way. It's because as time goes on, technology is evolving. We're looking at how we can better produce oil and gas, how we can better transport the resources. And the key thing for us is to advise students that always look at what the industry is looking at the moment and see how you can key into that trend. So award-winning papers must contain certain characteristics right from the abstract to the conclusion. So I believe at the end of this presentation, you will see why sometimes when you send an abstract or a paper, the paper is rejected. Even at the review stage, it's being rejected. But I believe from now, you try to come up with something that is more acceptable or award that is worthy of winning award at the end of the day. So this is just a post by Professor Ndubisi Ekwe on talking about research. But I just put him here to let you know that research is like, if you look at the work Elon Musk is doing, of recent, he bought out some robots, right? He bought out some cars, he bought out some inventions, he was able to fly his rockets to space. All of this came as a result of what? Research. So many a times he fails, there were failures, but he didn't give up, right? He tries to continue because he believes that someday he will be able to fly his rocket successfully. And the major achievement this time around is that he was able to fly the rocket, and the rocket still landed on the same position. And that is the first time it's happening in the entire globe. And that was a great credit to him. And how is he able to fly this rocket? Basic principles of physics, right? So you look at those things. Then the next slide talks about advancement in the oil and gas industries. And aside just winning award, we also want you to think beyond schooling, right? You can, from your research, you can actually from there, move or develop a startup for it. For example, now you're doing an innovative research. That means that from there, if it's something that the industry is interested in, you could team up, you could have a team and come up with a product. Thereafter, you commercialize it, you have a startup. And that is also another thing we're trying to educate our students in that. As I just thinking of, going to work for somebody, right? You can actually be an employer of labor via your research. So if your research is groundbreaking, team up together and come up with something and commercialize your research results and come up with startups. So like all this, you are saying that based on what startups. And in Nigeria has a higher potential, right, for these startups, because many of these things that are done in the US, in Canada, they are not done in the Nigerian environment. So it's something you can take, you can look at and see how you can, domesticate some of this. And that's how the likes of some indigenous startups started, they came on board, right? So what is research? I could say that research is a careful consideration of study regarding a particular problem using scientific method. You want to study a phenomenon, you want to be able to, replicate what is happening in the reservoir and decide how best you can produce the reservoir. You want to, understand what's going on, or you want to develop something and you feel that with that you can improve a process, you can make the process more efficient, you can increase production, so you embark on a research using scientific methods. I will talk about that as time goes on. But these are just the type of research that you can have. So a technical paper is just a document, right? That is telling us of the effort you put in, right, to be able to carry out a research. So in the paper, we'll see the process, the progress, the result, the method you used, and the problem that you were able to address. So now, I usually say that the best person that knows a research more is the person that does the research. So the only way I can know what you've done is through communication. And you cannot communicate the work to me that I'm in Warri, right? And you are in, let's say you're in Lagos. You cannot communicate the work to me just by calling me, or you want to communicate the work to everybody by calling the person, telling people about the work. No, you communicate it more with paper so that I myself, wherever I am, or wherever the person is in the person can pick the paper and know exactly what you've done. So that's the essence of a technical paper. So you have different areas you can look at: drilling, production, reservoir, data science, petroleum economics, in renewables, in green energy, and so on and so forth. Just a few that are listed here. So these are the tips for writing a good paper. So you should take note of it, in short, because this presentation is hinged majorly on this particular slide. So the first thing to note is that, which is part of the both and note, is the title of your paper. What is the title of your paper? So your title of your paper should be smart, to show some level of complexity as well too. It should also be something that is technical, and again, avoid writing review papers for paper contest. Like for me, if I say a topic, the minute I see the topic, I already know what you've done, right? So it tells me what you have done. I don't even need to read your abstract. So most times when we review at the abstract level, we reject a lot of abstract because the work, by the title itself, I already know that what you did is a review. So most times we want a work that is scientific, that is technical, in the sense that I want to be able to see students. I want to be able to see students being able to solve a problem. So I want to see your problem statement. I want to see how you're able to solve a problem. So when you pick a review paper, that solution has already been solved already. So we want to see you being novel, being innovative, and you being able to solve the problems. Most of the times, papers for paper contests that flies more are papers that are able to address the problem, not reviewing like somebody telling me that I want to look at the energy mix for Africa, for Nigeria. Come on. The first thing that comes to my mind is that this is a review paper, but that doesn't end. We'll go further to look at the abstract and to look at what they actually did, in the sense that I want to see, did this student actually use data? Did this student have a methodology? How is this student able to have an energy mix for Africa? But the moment I just see that you went to, I'm seeing graph, this, that is a review paper. That paper is most times it doesn't really fly like that. But when a student, that same work, so a student can decide to go and get a data of energy consumption or demand in Africa and get a software and do the energy mix, same topic. But I mean, we're able to see that the student took extra effort to model it and tell us that, okay, for Africa, for Nigeria, for this and that, this is what you came up with. Fine, that paper flies for a contest, but anything you are reviewing, it doesn't fly for paper contest. So you should take note of the title of the paper a whole lot. Then the abstract. The abstract is key. At the first stage, most of the times where papers are rejected is the abstract. So for abstract, you must be mindful of your methodology. We want to see a method. And papers that fly more are those papers that are able to address a gap. Because as part of the grading, we ask, is this work novel? Is it original, right? So if it's original, it's a pass. But if it's not original, we can say, no, this student just repeats the same kind of work. So look for work that has to do with modeling, a work that has to do with even machine learning, good. Then there's some level of mathematics, experiment, something that allows you to handle the data, right? Test it, and you are not confident to tell us that, okay, this is what I've done, and this is my innovation, right? Then those are papers that fly really easily for awards. Then we look at the methodology, and sometimes the more complex of methodology, the more, award winning it becomes. So a student that goes extra efforts to, to try to prove his hypothesis will earn more marks, right? And most times there are papers already online that assist in doing that. You can just look at papers and you see how they've done some of these things. So problem statement is key. The problem you're trying to address, is it relevant to the industry? If yes, then what is a gap? Is it a gap? Has it been done before? Like I could remember in this year's energy challenge, right? Energy challenge, right? There was a team that did perfect work, nice work, everything. But the project that they did, one of the judges was already familiar with something like that in the industry, right? Was already familiar with that in the industry. So he asked the team that, what is novel in your work? And the team said that, oh, this has not been used anywhere in the country. And he just corrected it that, no, this has been used in two fields where I've worked. So you can see what that means. That means that their work is, the grading of their work is going to, it's going to be reduced. And I don't think they didn't win the energy challenge. So these are some considerations you have to put, you have to take note of. So it's good you carry out a good literature review to identify gaps and draw up your methodology. These are both of award winning papers. Your paper, when I look at it, or when we look at it because I'm also a judge I've been judging a student paper contest even before I became the coordinator though now I'm no longer the coordinator of the student paper contest. But once we look at it, so literature review, if I see a work that has a good literature review, I already know the kind of students I already know the capacity of the students. So literature review, most times, is good. You look at papers in Science Direct so that you see how people are writing an introduction, right? Literature review is about you reviewing things that have happened in that area. Look at the way, that problem has been solved. Then you now identify a gap. From that gap, you draw up a methodology. A methodology, most times, they are in papers. Somebody may have worked on something similar. You could just go there and adopt his or her methodology and you reference it. So when you also write a paper, also learn to cite work. For example, now when you read some papers from A to Z, you will not see any citation. But you look at the references section, that have about 50 references there. So that tells me that work is not original in that sense. So it's good you give people their credit. Then understand the format of writing technical papers. That is very key. It's different from a project. Sometimes we just see students submitting their project work for us. Boom, their project, final year projects that they did. They will not even bother to edit it. They'll just submit it with their name, everything. And you know what? At that stage, I think there was even one that happened this year. The chapter submitted the the student project. So we didn't even bother to, to even review it at all, because by format, the work has failed already. So methodology is key and is the most determining factor. So you must have a method that you can use to test your hypothesis. It could be numerical, it could be economics, and it could be risk analysis, right? It could be drilling fluid, it could be, and these days we want to see, creative projects, creative minds, unique. Like you saw what happened. That's Mr. Alex, who won the SPE International Paper Contest. If you look at his work, it's a good work. You can read his paper to learn from him. One student creative, want to see your creative mind, how open you are, how critical you are, you can be. And most times when you do research, it all falls back to your fundamental knowledge, your science, your engineering, your background. Those are the things you apply to be able to solve, problems. Then results interpretation is also very key. How are you able to interpret your results? Is it clear? Because at the end of that day, I will ask myself that, does this student actually understand what he has done? After reading the paper, do I even know what the student have done? Are the results clear? Are they concise? Right? Are they concise? So these are the tips you need to know when writing papers. You take note of them. I still kind of did an elaboration of some of these tips, like problem identification. So if I read the abstract, will I be able to know what the problem is? What problem are you addressing? Right? And is there a gap? Is that gap, I don't mean, is a gap novel? Right? Is it novel? Is it a new concept? And most times, as a student, always, discuss with a professor or a supervisor, or it can be an industry expert. Don't always feel that you have it or you know it or not. Be open-minded and reach out to senior authorities so that you can be guided. So these are the formats of a technical paper. But for the African Regional Student Paper Contest and that of Nigeria, we usually, first of all, ask you to submit the abstract, which I think I will talk about that as time goes on, the introduction, the problem identification, and literature review. I want to see those things there. So when you see those things there, that the student actually, first of all, have a general concept of the introduction, you come to the problem statement, is able to identify a gap. I can see recent works, people that have done a lot of work there, and the student is telling me how he wants to solve the problem. Those are papers that, that can fly more easily. It has a methodology, not a review of this and that, and you are using people's results to write a paper. It's not that is a technical paper, but for contest, it's not going to fly, right? Because we want to see a way where we want to measure the level of your level of creativeness, how you're able to solve a problem, right? So discussion of results is a section, conclusion, your references is also very key. We look at the references that you give. Is it good enough? So most of the times, in all of these things, you have to sit down and pay rapid attention to them. So this is the abstract. It's a summary of the research that will be carried out. So this is the way they will write it. There should be a brief introduction. There's a problem statement. There's a research objective. There's a research methodology because sometimes when I'm reading an abstract, I go to your method. I want to see your methodology. Like I said, when I see a paper, I already know what is inside the paper. Yeah, when I see the title of the paper, I know what is inside the paper. And with that, I will ask, okay, let me see what the student did. And I will just go straight to the methodology. What did they do? From there, I kind of assess whether is this work good enough? Is it novel? Is it new? And most of the times, if the work is not new, there's no novelty inside. We can reject those papers. And that's why if you look at these days, papers that fly for presentation at STSC, you find out that it's very competitive because we try our best to to screen and screen the submissions that students that see the number of people that are submitted. So we screen them based on all these criteria. So the research methodology is also there too. Then okay, this is an example of an abstract. If you look at the abstract, I think I will share the slide with you. All this I've said is there. This is one of my papers that I wrote in 2020, right? Yeah, so you can check it there. You can see that now I said the rheological impact and economic implications of partial to total substitution of imported bentonite clay for oil and gas drilling operations. First, it's not a review paper. If you read it, you see the methodology. I'm able to prove the title, or I'm able to address the aim and objectives of this research that is here. So you also have another one. So I'll share the slide with you guys. You can take time, to go through it. You have the introduction section as well. That's for, I'm now looking at the path of the paper. So you need to be able to introduce the topic. Introduction for me, I usually say it's like storytelling. So you start on the general concept. From there, you state the background. From there, you talk about what people have done. From there, you look at the gap. From there, you migrate to what you want to do. You lay the hypothesis and tell us how you're going to solve it using the methodology stuff. And it's good for you, before you write a paper, go and check papers in Science Direct and see how papers are written. It's not just only definition, concept. No, your literature review, your introduction to have life, right? That's why when you do a lot of literature review, you have a lot to say, so you begin to communicate. There are times that when I write paper, I can write paper because of my experience. I can write paper from my head, right? Because I've read a lot of papers, so I can begin writing this thing, writing like that. Then I will now go back to literatures and check what I've been done, what did this person do, and bring it, I review. I don't know if you understand, because I have read wide and I've read a lot. I try to make my paper lively, right? To bring in life into my paper, something you can easily connect with. So we've talked about literature review. Always be mindful of the fundamental knowledge, and it's divided into two aspects. So there's also the review of existing work, and these are sources you can consult when it comes to literature review. Methodology, I think I've talked about this, which we look at. If you look at this here, you will not see anywhere you see that there's review, right? Reservoir modeling. Now you're trying to assess a reservoir, using a numerical method. Sometimes we ask, what is the novelty of that work, right? You are trying to use a mathematical equations. What are you adding? Like a student that won I think she came out number 2. She was able to modify the decline curve equation. So I think this is an opportunity to also challenge students that some of these reservoir engineering equations that you have, something you can do a research, because we've been using them for years. So try to understand those equations and see how you can modify them, right? And modify them like a Darcy law. I know there are lots of modification about it, but you can also, that's why when you've read wide and wide and wide, you can now be a master of that subject, right? You can modify. Like for me now, I have so many. I have my own equation, about 3 or 4, which even today or some days I will just sit down and I want to still work on my own equation, my own model, stuff like that. Like I have my own the modified unit technical course. It's actually a model that my team will develop, and I've also developed the modified straight line depreciation equation, and those are novel stuff that you won't find anywhere. But with open knowledge, a new area of knowledge that you can pick, and do. So you can do stuff like that. So the key to innovation is that, or to an innovative work, is that when you understand what is inside the black box or what is inside the engine, when you understand how an engine is designed, it means you can actually design an engine and you can modify the engine. So take time to know your work. when you know the science in the work, then that's where innovation or novelty can come. Like my patent, why I was able to have a patent was that I actually understood the science of clay. What happens when a clay swells? I read about the characteristics of clay, the properties of clay. Like I read a lot of fundamentals a lot. So because of that, I was able to know, okay, this is the reason why or what I need to do to improve the swelling properties of our Nigerian bentonite. All falls back to elementary knowledge. So these are some methods we look at in your work, and not just only doing, but try to be systematic and maybe complex a bit. Want to see something that want to see also how rigorous your work looks like, right? Is it did the students have to go through some time to solve the problem? Yeah, and there. So these are some of the tools we use to assess here. So example of a research methodology, like I just put this as an example, you can see that it is what systematic, especially when you are making a presentation, then how you are able to analyze the results. Sometimes it's good to use graph, right? You have graph, you can, now even your result analysis, you also need to be systematic in it. Present the result very well. Don't be too, that's why it's good you start to work as early as possible, and always have a third eye. After reading it, you have industry professors are there, your faculty advisor is there, your lecturers are there. Give them to help you, sir, please, help me review this paper. This is what I want to submit for STS. Help me review this abstract. And the person will look at it and, we easily just give you a go. Like sometimes some students, even sometimes, like I myself, I think the person that won the student paper contest this year was a student of mine when I was in Nile University. I just called and say, Clinton, make sure you submit this paper for paper contest, because I've seen the level of work that they did. And I know that, okay, just kind of work and fly. Sometimes some people just, okay, we just send me the abstract and I will look and I will just say, okay, do it like this, do it like that, and you get some form of stuff. So imagine I look at your title, your abstract, so imagine now you're not giving it to somebody that is a professor, an industry expert. You also get that form of review as well. So these are result analysis, discussion of results, then conclusion, references. Let me just give 1 minute to talk about this. So I know the challenge most time with students is, so you've talked about papers, how to win papers in a paper contest. So how do I, so that's always a challenge with students, but don't worry. These are some of the ways you can do that. So you can discuss with the professors. They give out research ideas. Like some of us, I have my research bank. So most of us have any project a professor gives you or topic he gives you. That means that you already have like a gap out there already, right? So you can, sir, please, do you have research that I can use that I can work on? You understand? So also, you as a student, you can conduct an extensive literature review. Then you can look at what have been done, maybe in the US, I want to localize it. Then again, there is not here. Please, you must have a skill. We want to also see your skill set in terms of you being able to build a model, in terms of you being able to, to use something to solve it. So the main thing that students lack is skill, right? So that's why when I take students, most times I try to look at their skill sets. Those very good ones, sharp ones, they can do a more complex work. The more skill you have, the more you're able to, write papers. That's just it. Like for me now, I can write papers, because I have a skill set in energy economics, in reservoir modeling, in even the experiments you do in the lab. I can put them down together and get something out of them. Then when you go for NAIS, most times, don't always go to that exhibition booth. I know students like that place a lot. Try to go to where they are presenting papers. You see what they are doing. From there, you can begin to, be motivated. You want to be like us, right? look at global and local trends. So on that way, you look at the future of the energy industry. What is the industry looking at the moment? Digitalization, clean energy. Even in Nigeria, we have the hydrogen economy. You can read about it and see how you can, want to do the economics of it. There is digitalization, reservoir modeling, enhanced oil recovery, and so on and so forth. Even the economics aspect of it, is there too. This is just a case study, right? Where, this is one of my papers. If you look at this paper, you will see that you understand the problem statement and how I was able to solve it. The methodology is there. What are the skills needed? Your drilling mode experiment you do for those petroleum engineers at 300 level or 400 level or ND2 or HND1 and 2. Those mode experiments you do are the basic skills that you need. Then for petroleum engineers, don't just do a materials research and go home. No, try to characterize your materials. Go and learn about FTR, RO, UVVs, SROD, SCM. It makes you to not just only, it makes you to be able to publish your paper internationally, and it makes your work to be more, more scientific. For example, now you're dealing with a clay. Yes. How do I know that it's a clay material you're dealing with? You need to prove it to me scientifically using these tools, right? Using these tools. So, I did my master's. I was able to use UVVs for desulfurization, and I think I will need to publish that week, right? It's a method that I developed, So using that method, you can, then in my I've not yet. I will need to present that methodology. My PhD to also develop a novel way for beneficiating low swelling bentonite clay. Why am I able to do that? Because I understand the foundation knowledge, clay, how clay is processed, how clay is formed, properties of clay here and there. And I know most of the works that I've done when it comes to clay in Nigeria. So if I'm telling you about clay and I'm telling you this is a gap, you should know that, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I will stop here for today, but just to review or to bring our minds back to what we've talked about. We're looking at the votes and the number of award winning papers. And you can see now down that there are a lot of things which you may not be taking note of. But in all of this, first, you need to have a good scientific knowledge. Read why, instead of doing WhatsApping or, Facebooking at this point in time, you can do that. Like there's time for everything. Now I can decide to, to do most of those things because I paid my own dues, but still, I still try to, still be creative to find one or two things that I can do to, to add value, right? So these are some things you should take note of. Then those points that I listed, the title of your work, the methodology, learn a skill. Like go for an IT, don't just go and be going to the office. Try to look, okay, what are people doing, right? Oh, if I using this software, can I learn this software? Is there a project I can do so that I can use for my final year work? My first paper I wrote was actually when I was in my IT in PTI there. Yeah, in PTI there, when I was in my IT there. So that helps me a lot to get their experience. And that paper, I used it for my final year project. So while others were working their head, I was just sleeping, enjoying myself in my final year. So make use of your IT very well, learn skills. Sometimes sections, I think always section organize some hands-on program of recent. Those are things you shouldn't miss. So as more skills you can have now as a student, have them. They are necessary and important. Like even me at my level now, I'm still acquiring skills. I'm still acquiring skills. I'm currently doing a course with MIT on energy economics, and with that, I was able to learn how to, build to develop policies for all these to achieve a 2.2 degrees Celsius for that's air temperature rise. So I tested different policy framework, and there's a software which I've learned, which is an addition to my knowledge. And with that, much more better, right? So I can even use that to do my own research, to teach students for trainings and so on and so forth. So go for skills, learn skills. Without skills, you can't do research. So learn skills. If it's software, and these days too, if you go on YouTube, you will see one Indian man will just come. If it's a fast simulation, is this using Eclipse? Here, there, you learn it. And learning skills these days, I must not be there to teach you. You can go on YouTube and you could learn those things. Like sometimes, I think there was a work I did there on feed development. I learned some of the things that I learned was YouTube, right? How to use Petrel, how to use Petrel, then how to use YouTube videos. It was quite hectic, but I just had the mindset that I can do it, and that was how I was able to do the job right there. So I'll stop here for today, and thank you for listening. I would love to take one or two questions as I have another meeting by 6 o'clock. We're currently looking at the the African Student Congress that will be held next year in 2024. But I would entertain one or two questions, and you can always reach out to me. I think I'll drop my numbers, and I'm also on LinkedIn. You can follow me on LinkedIn and ask any questions that you want. My joy is that one thing that makes me happy these days is that when I see students whom I've taught and I've learned, sometimes I see them on LinkedIn and I'm like, wow, when I was in class, I was telling this person about this thing. I was not saying, those things, but I'm just happy when I see students excel. So so when I see students excel, sometimes they write to me and, oh sir, this and that, and they like, though when I supervise students, they usually cry, but at the end of the day, they come back and say it's a worthy experience, right? Because it makes them to be unique and distinct. So thank you once again. I also thank senior members that have joined this event. I know you may also have one or two things to contribute to this presentation. Thanks to the section chair for Warri, the program chair, and the board members of Warri section. So once again, thank you, and I hope I'm being able to pass one or two vital message. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Madam Zalifat, for joining. Thanks for your kind words. Oh,
Thank you very much, sir.
I thought my video was on. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Oh.
for that wonderful presentation. Thank you, sir. So we'll be going straight to question and answering section. But before we do that, I would like to welcome Engineer Mrs. Magdalene Umo, the past section chair 2022-23 body. Madam, you are welcome, ma. You are welcome, ma. I don't know if she's still on call.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Well done to
and thank you, ma, for joining our student mama. Thank you, ma, for joining.
Yeah, thank you, ma. And again, I think I saw Dr. Eddie Oko, the past section chair as well, 2023-24 body. I don't know if he's still on call. I'm saying welcome, sir. And also I saw Engineer AB, the past student liaison officer. You are welcome, sir. I don't know if he's still on call. Okay, we are taking I think I heard him. Okay, we are taking the question and answering now. I don't know if you have a question, you can indicate by just clicking on the just signify by raising up your hand. Just click the icon there. If you have a question, we can take it now.
Okay, Precious, please, can you make me co-host so that I'll share the slides because I got disabled.
Okay. I mean, I think Mr. Chima, Mr. Chima, make a close. My phone is having issue.
Precious, I have a question to ask.
Okay, you can go on.
Okay. Okay, so this question.
I don't know if I'm the
I
only
think
one that can't
I can't
hear
hear her.
her. Victory.
Is it a network?
Victory, just type your question on the comment section. I will read it out to the speaker later. Let's take another question from Rabiu Isa. Rabiu, you can ask your question.
Yes.
I can see your hand up.
Okay, thank you very much for this great and wonderful presentation. Very quickly,
Okay.
my question is, in case you are presenting your papers to people that are not, let me say, in the profession, you write your paper. What types of language, like, can you use technical words that are relevant to that topic, let me say profession, or you can use simple language. As some said, technical words also attract mark in paper contest. Thank you.
Okay, please come again with your question. I don't know, my speaker is a bit faint.
Mr. Rabiu,
Hello?
you can come again with the question. Hello, Mr. Rabiu. You
Or
can
if I
come
may
again with the
get,
question.
you're talking
Okay,
about,
can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm saying, in case you are presenting your paper to, let me say, panel that are not familiar with the topic you are presenting, maybe they read a course which is not related to what you are presenting. Can you use technical words in your presentation, or use simple, let me say, language? As some say, using technical words or language can attract more mark in paper contest. Thank you.
Okay, for paper contest, thank you for your question. Yeah, for most time for paper contest, most of the people that are judges, they're technical people, they are people of experience. So we don't usually use people that don't have knowledge about the oil and gas industry for paper contest. So most times, yeah, the judges they are experts in that their field. So it's expected for you to use technical knowledge. And your use of technical language most times it tells us also that you actually understand what you are doing for the industry, because most times, if for example now you have to ask you some questions, they will ask you based on those technical words, if to see if you really understand what you are presenting on. So that just it's only when you are maybe making a presentation to a group of people, not a contest, and the audience is not familiar with the topic. That's when you try other ways to, you want to pass the message to them. So sometimes you can use stories, you can use something they can relate with. But in a paper contest, you have to be professional. We want to see how unique you are, how smart, how sharp you can be. And so in no case, we want you to share your level of knowledge. We want to see how knowledgeable you are about that field. So sometimes, like I think Alex, when and there's one thing I want to also say is that thank God I didn't miss. I remember this also too. So you should take note of this. It's for everybody. So most times when you see students winning, they're not winning because of that thing that they presented. Though. Sometimes these students we have to cook them. By cooking them is that they will present before a team of professors, a team of experts, right? So like Alex, like when I discussed with him, the moment he won the regional contest, I just told him that let's have a meeting some days later we met, and I told him, okay, this is what you should do. And on his own, he met several persons to help him review his papers, to present before them. he presented before his department several times. They scrutinized the work. And before he even went to the final presentation, we had a mock session for him at council level. We had the professors that were there. They reviewed the work. And the moment I wrote back to thank the professor, they told me that, oh, this student is going to win the contest, right? Because sometimes you have to prepare yourself over and over again. So sometimes, though you are the one that write the paper, but you need to take extra effort to present in different ways so that other people can look at your work and make one or two comments. Like when I won the paper contest in 2018, before I presented my work twice before my department. I had professors there who schooled me, scrutinized the work, and said, okay, no, you are good to go for the presentation. So I think I just added that to this stuff so that could help. And it will also build you and develop your presentation skills. And yeah, even when I also represented the University of Benin, the professors then they also organized a session for me twice, and that made my presentation more solid for the contest. So thank you. I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I think I have another question by somebody, Mr. Usman Shehu. You can ask your question. Mr. Usman. Usman, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Okay. Okay, Mr. Usman, I think he's not on call anymore.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, Victory, I don't know if she's still on call. Victory, you can share the slide.
Please
You
confirm
can
if
share
I
the
hear.
slide, please.
Okay, I've not been made co-host
Yeah, I can hear you very
yet.
well. Okay, you have not been made the co-host. Okay, let me my phone. But as we are waiting for Victory to share the slide, we can take the closing remark. I think that the last question from Mr. Shehu is not on call anymore, so we can draw the curtain close.
Sorry,
from
sir.
here.
My network got glitched.
Okay,
Can I?
you're on call back. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can ask your question.
All right. Thank you, sir. So thank you,
Okay,
sir,
welcome.
for the wonderful presentation. I just wanted to ask, where could we find the papers from the previous contest, like Mr. Alex you mentioned, so that we could review and check it?
Okay. Like his paper, I think I would share it on the student council platform, his paper. But most times you can get papers from One Petro. You can also get papers from Science Direct. Science Direct, you have open access papers that you can access. Then sometimes through Google, if you Google the topic of the area you want to do, you will see papers that will come up at that level. Because one thing we notice for students is that I don't know if students are lazy per se, but the student will just pick 2, 3 papers and will say, okay, I'm set for a presentation. No, you use Google alone, you will see lots of papers that will come up. And with that, I think you can be able to do something with those papers. But One Petro has a lot of papers that you can access and can guide you for that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So we shall be going straight to the next agenda. That is okay. Closing remark by Engineer Mrs. Magdalene Umo, the Section Director, SPE Warri section. Ma, the floor is yours, sir. Hello, Ma, if you're on the call.
Yeah, good
I think she's on the
evening.
call.
Good evening. Please confirm
Okay,
you
thank
can
you very
hear
much, Ma.
me.
I
Can you
can hear
hear
you very
me?
much, Ma.
Okay, fantastic. Wow. So it's really been a very exciting and insightful session, thought-provoking for me. And yeah, if I don't know if you can see this, I have been capturing notes because if you ask me, I'm one of those very guilty of not taking out time to, document my work, my thoughts, and some of the things I have done in the industry. I've done quite a number of I have co-authored quite a number of papers, and then within my organization, I have written a lot of papers as well. But taking that outside, to the public domain is what I have not been so good at. So this session has ignited something in me, a fire in me, which I believe I will see through. So on that note, I would like to say a very big thank you to Dr. Rume for taking out time to share your knowledge and experiences with regards to writing, carrying out researches, and documenting those researches through technical paper writing. And I have seen all your achievements. In fact, it was quite amazing to see that you've done. You have 4 copyrights, you have a patent, all to your name. So I'm really, really happy and excited that you are part of, you are within the Warri community. So I want to enjoy all our students, but and even the young professionals, that we need to key into this wonderful resource that we have within our reach. And while you were making your presentations, I picked quite a number of buzzwords which you kept repeating over and over again. And some of these are that the ideas, when you're carrying out research, it should try and be novel, be authentic. You have to bring in originality in your work. You talked about innovation. There was something you talked about, you kept talking about the methodology, and that we should, and I'm also bringing myself in here, so I'm not just your presentation is not just focused on the student, but it affects everybody. Try to build skill sets and then bring that to play, demonstrate your skill sets when you're going about your research and documenting and writing your technical papers. And then you talked about the format of writing technical papers being a bit different from the school project work. I believe this is something the students have picked up. And then you talked about having a very creative and open-minded. You enjoined the students to be very creative and open-minded. So these are some of the few things that I've picked up. I just want to say a big thank you to you, and I'm hoping that I would see greater participation from our student body in the paper contest that we do, even at both the student technical contest. Can you hear me? The student technical contest and the energy contest that
they provided dinner for us.
And then I just want to also say thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Yeah, okay. I also want to say a very big thank you to Chima. Chima, the Chima's team, and that organized this whole program for the students and the young professionals. Thank you so much for making our time. And this is coming at a very good time because we are going into the season of writing of technical papers, energy contests, student, paper contests, and then even beyond the student, the young professionals are also going to be writing papers, doing writing their abstracts in readiness for the NICE event. So I just want to say thank you so much. And I'm hoping that we've all been able to pick out 1 or 2 things, and we will not just walk away from here without taking action. We need to take action. All the things that he has outlined, please let's go through it again and then be geared up for the contest that lie ahead of us. Then one key thing I also picked, I'm sorry that I am talking so much. I really found this very, very educative. One other thing I have picked up from here is that we shouldn't just, the focus is not just about doing research so that you go and write technical papers. No, that you could, there's also that opportunity of, creating something that can result in you starting up your own business and being an employer in the future. So let us also have that at the back of our minds when we're going about our research work. Let us try to always address a gap, look out for gaps, and then work around addressing those gaps so that when you take your paper out there, it's something people want. It's a solution that people are actually looking forward to. The industry is looking forward to. And as we know, this industry is being fueled by research work. So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that joined this session, and wishing you all a very big success as we go ahead. Thanks, and over to you, Chima.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, ma. Thank you very much, ma. So I shall be taking the announcement now. The student body, we are having our next program coming up next week, Tuesday, 10th December 2024. So the program is about a practical section on SPE membership renewal, renewing your SPE student membership, and conversion from students to young professional membership. This program is coming up next week, 10th December 2024. Thank you very much. Victory, I think you can take the photo section now.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Victory.
So I'll just stop sharing so that I can
Okay.
see everyone on the screen. Okay, it's time for the photography session. You could just please turn on your camera so that I'll capture this moment. Where I am now is really dark, but I'll try. Okay. Please turn on your cameras. Please turn on your cameras. Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. All right. So at this count, okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. So I'll go to the next slide. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Victory. So you are highly, I thank you very much for attending this program. You are welcome, and I will say we have drawn the curtain close at this point. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Precious.
Okay.